Hello, you're watching Vnews Bulletin. I'm Yung from Hanoi. Now let's come to our top stories as usual.
Planning work needs breakthrough change in mindset. Vietnam's economy forecast to grow beyond expectation. And later on, Pear Blossom Festival to be held in Tuyên Quang.
Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính emphasized the need for breakthrough changes in mindset and strategic vision in planning work while addressing an online national conference on March the 2nd.
The conference sought ways to speed up the planning work, along with consultation on orientations for the National Master Plan for 2021-2030, with a vision towards 2050. Participants looked into a report on the building, assessments and ratification of planning schemes for 2021-2030, with a vision towards 2050, as part of the national planning system, and another on orientations of the National Master Plan. Prime Minister Chính said, despite efforts of the entire political system, the planning work has failed to meet expectations in both speed and quality, mainly due to authorities' inadequate attention and leadership to the work, limited investment, ineffective building, and problems in planning-related regulations. Therefore, ministries, agencies, and localities should consider the planning work a crucial policy task this year and mobilize resources to ensure planning progress and quality. The Prime Minister also asked ministries, agencies, and localities to step up inspections and supervisions by competent and people-elected agencies, in the assessment and ratification of planning projects.
Ambassador Đặng Hoàng Giang, head of the permanent delegation of Vietnam to the United Nations, has called on parties involved in the Russia-Ukraine tensions to exercise restraint, stop the use of force, resume dialogue, and seek long-term solutions to differences.
Addressing the UN's General Assembly's emergency special sessions on the situations in Ukraine on March 1st, Zhang welcomes the dialogue on February 20th between the Ukrainian and Russian delegations and expressed his hope that the parties will continue maintaining dialogue towards the above-mentioned solutions. The ambassador affirmed Vietnam's consistent stance of settling international disputes by peaceful means on the basis of respect for international law and the UN Charter. Especially the principle of respect for independence, sovereignty, and territorial integrity of nations, without interference in internal affairs, the use of force in international relations.
Despite the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, many foreign investment funds believe that Vietnam's economy will grow beyond expectation in 2022 as domestic demand rebounds and foreign direct investment inflow remains stable.
Most forecasts by foreign investment funds show that Vietnam's GDP growth is likely to increase by 7.5% in 2022. However, it is not too surprising if the economy will grow at a higher rate, thanks to strong recovery of domestic consumption, construction activities, international tourism, as well as the government's financial stimulus package worth $15 billion, according to insiders. They agree that the reopening of domestic economy will be the biggest driver of Vietnam's economic growth this year. The stimulus package, including cutting added value tax from 10% to 8%, together with the recovery of international tourism, also promised to boost domestic consumption in the country, they noted.
The 12th and 13th trains for Chi Minh City's third metro line will reach the city on March the 9th from Japan, according to the Chi Minh City Management Authority for Urban Railways. The two trains will arrive at the Khánh Hội Port at Ho Chi Minh City's District 4 before being transferred to the Long Binh Depot in Thủ Đức City. After the inspection work is completed, the trains will be put into trial run. The 19.7-kilometer metro route from Bến Thành Market in District 1 to Suối Tiên Theme Park in Thủ Đức City will have 17 Japanese-made trains in total. It has total investment of over $1.9 billion and consists of 3 underground stations and 11 elevated ones. Foreign investors have poured nearly $5 billion in Vietnam so far this year, equivalent to 91.5% of that in the same time last year, according to the Foreign Investment Agency.
As of February 20th, 183 new projects had been licensed, a rise of over 45% year-on-year, with their combined capital totaling $632 million. Meanwhile, nearly $3.6 billion was added into 142 underway projects, over 2.2 times than that in the same period last year. Foreign investors also injected $770 million into share purchase deals. FDI was poured in 7 out of the 21 economic sectors, with the highest amount on processing manufacturing sector at over $3.1 billion. The agency said that 51 countries and territories have invested in Vietnam, led by Singapore with over $1.7 billion. China ranked second with $533 million. Bắc Ninh led the country in FDI attraction by luring over $1.3 billion. Meanwhile, Chi Minh City attracted the highest number of new FDI projects.
Chi Minh City exported some $7.4 billion worth of goods in the first 2 months of 2022, posting a year-on-year increase of nearly 6%.
Data from the city's statistics office showed that the export value of industrial products witnessed a year-on-year growth of nearly 43%, surpassing $5.3 billion and holding a lion's share of 77%. Meanwhile, farm produce recorded an export value of $695 million, expanding over 63%. China remained the biggest importer of Ho Chi Minh City goods, whose total value stood at $1.3 billion. The U.S. came behind with the value totaling nearly the same amount with China. Local businesses in rubber, plastic, and garment textile are receiving a large amount of orders and striving to meet deadlines.
The number of Vietnamese people with cash and assets of more than $30 million will exceed 1,500 by 2026, a 26% increase from 2021. The estimate is contained in the latest annual wealth report released by UK property consultants Knight Frank. The report states that Vietnam is expected to have 1,551 ultra-high net worth individuals by 2026, compared to 1,234 last year. It also predicts that the number of wealthy people, or those with a net worth of $1 million or more, including their primary residence, will rise sharply by more than 59% from last year to some 115,000. The Knight Frank report puts the number of ultra-rich people around the world at more than 610,000 last year, up 9.3% against 2020. In a bid to introduce the beauty of Vietnam's ancient áo dài, the older version of the country's traditional dress, as well as traditional cultural values through costumes, Nguyễn Đức Lộc, a Vietnamese ancient costume researcher and the ISEP Hanoi Classy organization, has jointly organized a meeting with diplomats who will be ambassadors in foreign countries.
At the meeting, Lộc, a researcher and founder of Vân Hiên, spoke of the history, culture, and techniques for making ancient áo dài. These are restored by a love of culture among the young generation, and the skilled hands of artisans in traditional trade villages around Vietnam have inspired pride in the country's culture.
It is a special feeling to wear an áo dài. It expresses pride in the country's culture and history. I think the traditional dress will not bring Vietnam and other countries closer.
I prepared many sets of áo dài for special occasions during my tenure with a modern áo dài. Thanks to this meeting, I now know more about ancient áo dài and its cultural values. Vietnamese culture needs to be preserved and introduced to more international friends.
Choosing a custom for its country, people, and traditions has been a focus of researchers and designers. While female áo dài have been popular and received a warm response from international friends, áo dài for men have only caught the attention of the public in recent times.
Dressing to impress is significant and answers questions about who are you, where are you from, and what the country is about, among other things. We hope these outfits will help ambassadors and diplomats introduce the beauty of Vietnamese culture to
Tradition is values being passed on, preserved for generations, and enriched by young people. Youngsters like Nguyễn Đức Lộc are realizing their big dream of preserving and promoting Vietnamese culture to the world through ancient long dresses.
The Hồng Thái Pear Blossom Festival will take place from March the 5th to 15th in Nha Trang District in Tuyên Quang Province, in a bid to boost local tourism.
With plentiful nature wonders, beautiful landscapes and cultural relics, Tuyên Quang has substantial potential to develop its tourism industry. The Pear Blossom Festival is part of efforts to encourage more tourists to visit, especially to Nha Trang District. A host of activities will be held within the framework of the festival to promote local landscapes such as the Nha Trang Lumbing Nature Reserve. Traditional festivals of ethnic minority groups such as the fire jumping ceremony of the Red Cell will be reenacted, while local cuisine and specialties such as Shan Thuê tea will be introduced during the festival.
Thanks to economic development, many Mueang families in Ngọc Lặc Mountainous District in Thanh Hóa Province have built houses in recent years, featuring new and modern architecture. However, many families decided to keep their traditional bamboo stone houses, especially after the district introduced a policy preserving the stone houses in association with development of community tourism.
The 100-year-old still house of Mrs. Phạm Thị Sáu family in Lập Thắng village in Thạch Lập commune, Ngọc Lặc district has 3 compartments and 2 wings, as well as 2 staircases. In the middle of the house is a place for worshipping the ancestors and welcoming male guests, while inside is a kitchen and a place for women to live. This is one of the 10 most beautiful wooden steel houses in Lập Thắng commune and was selected by Ngọc Lặc district to join its projects on preserving traditional steel houses of the Mueang people in association with tourism development.
My house, which my father left to me, is among those selected for the Community Tourism Development Project. I want it to be remodeled and beautified, and we can then join courses on community tourism to welcome tourists.
According to the People's Committee of Ngọc Lặc District, there are currently around 14 city steel houses in the area, including more than 700 in Thạch Lập commune, many of which are over 100 years old.
We will complete 10 houses in a pilot project in the immediate future. Outside landscapes, check-in locations for visitors, and public toilets are also included in the project. We hope to be able to welcome guests in the first half of this year.
The Mueang make up more than 70% of the populations in Ngọc Lặc district. The building of a community tourism area in Lập Thắng village in association with the preservation of traditional Mueang steel houses is opening up opportunities to preserve traditional cultural values and utilize the locality's tourism potentials.
And that has wrapped up our news bulletin. Thank you for being there with us and see you next time.